Facebook. I'm just getting set up in preparation for our session this evening on meditation, mantra and meditation, the last of the 9 days of practice, celebrating the Spring Goddess Festival, Navaratri. So I'm just giving people a moment to land on Zoom. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. I hope the connection is better on Facebook tonight. Yeah, on the cell is probably a better choice. Let's hope it works. I'll make sure that you're present at the end in case you freeze. Hi, Virginie. Hi, Liddy. I'll give people a few more minutes to arrive. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I just listened to the news.
Oh.
It's pretty dire.
Yes.
Yeah. But personally, I'm fine.
Yeah. That's good. I try not to listen to the news at night. Hi, Nadia and Lawrence. So let's hope the internet connection works tonight. So I'll just give people a couple more moments to arrive, either on Zoom or on Facebook, and then we'll start. This is the last session, hi Janice, of the 9 days of practices. So we'll do more, and I'll send out another newsletter tomorrow or Friday, probably Friday, but we'll do a Saturday morning yoga class, 9:30 in Nova Scotia and 8:30 in Montreal. And then I'll have a fuller schedule up sometime on Friday. Hi, Kathy. I'll just type the mantra again. In the chat windows for both people, so also on Facebook. And I'm writing it how it would be said. So, Shakti, oops. Ti, ye, nam, ha. There we go. Hello, Myrna. Nice to see you. So we'll start. So for all of the meditation sessions, there's nothing in particular that you need. just a comfortable seat where you can sit with ease and some sense of torso, just so that you have space for breath and also for sound during the time that we're repeating the mantra. And that's it. So as you settle into your seat, take a moment to adjust your seat in any way you need to be present. And we'll start with the eyes closed just for a moment or two to arrive. So after you adjust your seat, close your eyes. Tune into your breath. And use the connection to the breath to settle into your seat from the inside. So we've adjusted the outer body, and now adjust the inner space so that you feel the weight settle more fully down onto the legs and the hips. Create a sense of length along the central column of the torso, from the base of the pelvis to the crown of the head. And remember that line is just in front of the spine, right in the center of the body. And as you create length on that inner column, along that inner column, let the outer body, especially the muscles at the tops of the shoulders, the belly and the jaw, to relax. And even though there's that sense of relaxation in the belly and the shoulders and the jaw, maintain the length along the central column of the torso. With your next exhalation, join your hands together at your heart. And take a moment here to articulate silently to yourself for being here tonight, your intention for this time and this practice. And then we'll seal that intention and set the tone for the practice with one Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. And then gently bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Lift your head. Hi, Isabel. Hi, Marianne. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then if you have any questions, you can on Zoom unmute yourself and ask, or type them in the chat window. On Facebook, if you have any comments or questions, you can type them in the chat window and I will respond. So this is the last practice of the series of 9 practices. So this ends the spring goddess festival, Navaratri. And the last goddess, as most of you know, is the goddess Lakshmi. And she represents abundance, prosperity, auspiciousness. And one aspect of that, which we haven't talked so much about and is key, is the capacity and the ability to relax. That when we relax, we have the opportunity to remember what is present and full and abundant in our lives. And when we're stressed, often with a state of stress comes a level of action and a level of intensity that moves us away from relaxation and that interferes with our capacity to see what is present and abundant in our lives at any given moment. So even in times of stress, and of course it's harder here, and Lakshmi represents the relaxation and the ease that is present in times of peace, in times where there's less conflict and there's more opportunity to release and relax into comfort and into ease. And we also want to build the capacity to be able to relax even in times of stress and in times of uncertainty. So it may be challenging to cultivate that at this moment in time, but bringing our attention to it and making it something that we at least recognize and tune into is significant. This particular lineage of yoga, the one that I study, says that this capacity to relax into our experience is really key. So when we're stressed, one of the things that happens is we hold ourselves against it. And in that, there's a contraction that is interfering with our capacity to see and feel into what is present, full, and abundant in our lives. So, and that's not like be completely relaxed all the time, but simply doing things like paying attention to the jaw and the tension that we hold in the jaw, or the tension in the belly, or the tension in the eyes, can really inform us of our state. And releasing tension in those areas can move us toward our natural and intimately remembered state of relaxation, or at least a sense of ease in the midst of stress. Our mind has also the tendency to overwork, especially in moments when there is more conflict or tension present. And the mind constantly repeats. Often it repeats things that we have already experienced in the past, and it reworks them and re-experiences them, replays them in our mind. We also replay anticipated ideas of what the future will look like. And both of those things, staying in the past or in the present, or in the future, take us away from being in the present moment. And when we're in the present moment, that's the only moment where we can see what is full and abundant in our lives. And so the repetition of mantra that we've been practicing through this time is an opportunity to give our mind something to do that shifts us out of that cycle of repeating past experiences or cycling through anticipation and worry about the future. So the mantra is a way that we set the mind in the present. And so as a consequence of moving the mind into the present moment, it relaxes and it releases. So that's one of the gifts of mantra, is that it can move our mind toward that state of relaxation. And you can choose any mantra. It does not have to be the one that we're using through this practice. It doesn't have to be a Sanskrit word. It can be anything that you repeat, any affirmation or positive phrase, something that you're wanting to cultivate in your life, can be what you put on repeat in the mind to move it away from that past future cycle. when we tune into the now, and when we repeat mantra, one of the other things that happens is that our breath settles. So in the present moment, the breath can expand. When we're caught up in the past or anticipating the future, the breath gets impacted in that. So when we're repeating the mantra, or even just simply tuning into the breath and expands so that we take a fuller and softer breath. And that also helps to cue the body that we're relaxing, or at least not amping up our stress levels. So the breath gives us the opportunity to recognize what is full and present and abundant in our lives. And if nothing else, we can always be grateful for the capacity to take a full, easeful breath. And so just simply dropping into the breath reminds us of that. When we are in touch with what is full and present and abundant in our lives, the yoga tradition says that we can share that sense of fullness and abundance outward, and that impacts and alleviates the suffering of others. And so the meditation practice that we'll do tonight is another form. We did a form of it at the beginning on the first meditation day, and we'll do another slightly different form tonight. And it is that understanding that when we tune into what is present and abundant at any moment, then we can deliberately and intentionally share that into the world for the purpose of alleviating suffering. So, any comments or thoughts or questions from what I've just shared? If you're on Zoom, you can unmute yourself, or you can type it in the chat window, or you can raise your hand and I can unmute you. And if you're on Facebook, then you can type it in the chat window. So we'll move right into practice then. So like we've been doing, we'll sit for a couple of minutes and center, and then we'll spend some time repeating the mantra, Om Para Shaktiye Namaha. And that roughly translates as, yes, I bow over to or surrender to or recognize the supreme creative force in the universe. And that force governs all flow, the flow of intuition, the flow of creation, the flow of maintenance, the flow of disillusion, and the mantra moves us into alignment with that rhythm. So, take a good seat. If you're wearing glasses, you might want to put them to the side. Place your hands either lightly up or down on your thighs, or place one palm over the other in the lap. Take a few moments to let the body relax. And much of the time, the state of relaxation is something that we allow to happen. That if we get out of the way, relaxation happens. The body and even the mind innately know how to settle. And the part of us that wants to be in control interferes with that natural capacity. So completely soften the belly. Relax the muscles across the tops of the shoulders without slumping. Release the jaw completely so that there is space between the back teeth. And soften the lips, perhaps letting them part slightly. With the eyes closed, soften the eyes so that there's a slight sense that if you were to open the eyes, the world would be a bit blurry around the edges in soft focus. Relax the forehead. And even though this may not make sense, let the brain settle toward the back of the head and slightly down toward the center of the head. Relax and perhaps even have a sense of opening the crown of the head. Become aware of the breath and simply follow the movement of the breath without needing to shift it, even though simply bringing our attention to the breath will shift it slightly. And see if you can cultivate a sense that you are being breathed. In other words, that the impulse that moves the breath in and draws the breath out of the body is happening without any control on your part. Perhaps that impulse is even coming from outside of you. Om Parashaktiye Namaha. Om Parashaktiye Namaha. Om Parashaktiye Namaha. Om Parashaktiye Namaha. Tiye Namaha. Om Parashaktiye Namaha. Parashaktiye Namaha. Om 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 Parashaktiye. Om Parashaktiye Namaha. 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 Om Parashaktiye Shaktiye Namaha. Parashaktiye Namaha. Let yourself relax even more fully into this moment, into this breath. On the perhaps more subtle movement of the breath. Perhaps even still hearing the echo of the mantra reverberate inside. And take a moment, if it's available to you, to tune in and perhaps become aware of all of the blessings that you have received in this life. All of the gifts of abundance and prosperity present, even in this moment. And take a moment to acknowledge all of the beings that have contributed to what is present for each of us in this moment. All the beings that have created a world which allows us to breathe in and out. The beings that have created the body in which we inhabit. The beings that have practiced yoga, honed their understanding, cultivated wisdom, teachings and practices that have been brought forward through the generations for our benefit. And take a moment to tune into the love that is at the core of all that has been created for us, and is at the core of all that we have, all that is abundant and present in our lives. And imagine all of the beings, all of your ancestors, all of the ancestor yogis, all of the wisdom teachers, and all of the great souls and the love that they have extended through time and space to us. All of those beings above you, pouring love, blessings, abundance down on you. And softly open the crown of the head so all of that blessing energy, all of that love flows down through the crown of the head into the center of the heart. Filling up your heart space until it overflows. Overflows from the space of your heart. Imagine it extending out in all directions, like rays from the sun or spokes from the center of the wheel. And it extending out and contacting the beings around us who are suffering, and imagine that energy moving through you, extending outward in all directions with the intent purpose of alleviating the suffering we are constantly filled up by the love pouring in the crown of our head. So as we extend love outward, we are constantly filled up with it in an endless stream. And as you feel or imagine the love flowing in, filling your heart, sustaining you, and radiating outward, feel the interconnectedness of all beings. Now, as you continue to radiate energy out, you can repeat silently to yourself, may all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. May all beings know freedom, freedom from suffering. May all beings know their wholeness. May all beings be well. And may all beings everywhere be happy. With your next exhalation, join your hands together at your heart. We'll close this practice with one Om. Take a deep breath in. And bow your head over to your heart. Release your hands. Lift your head. Gently open your eyes. Any comments or shares from that practice?
lovely. I hadn't done the yoga last night, and I just did the yoga practice a couple of hours ago. So I feel like that practice opened the container of my chest and opened the container of my heart so that I was able to more fully fill up with all that abundant energy. It's nice. So now I'm bubbling with creative energy.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. I'm really glad that those practices meshed well together. Lovely.
Yeah, it's been a lovely 9 days. It's been a wonderful progression and integration and experience. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel very blessed with your participation and presence through this. I'm very grateful, and we'll continue with some online things while we are in this situation. So I will let you know what comes next as soon as I figure that out. Thank you. So, Liddy, yes. I will unmute you. There we go.
So I feel that this practice over the 9 days has been like a lifeline in a very chaotic world, reminding us and giving us the option and the support to come back to ourselves and to what's really important. So I want to thank you for that, for offering that. And just to say that I totally appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you, Liddy. That was my intention to. I really feel like this is a time where there's a great call to be present and to practice for those of us that are able to, for those who are not able to at this time, and to support the world. So if we can do anything just simply by our capacity to be present and to breathe. You know, when people are not breathing, we stop breathing. And when we keep breathing, people keep breathing. And that is transformative. And I've been in many situations with people who were suffering and feeling how my breath constricted with theirs, in rhythm with theirs. And that as I shifted my breath and took a deeper, more easeful breath, they could shift their breath. And so just that could change everything, maybe. Anyone else want to share anything? All of these practices are up on Facebook, Mona Keti Yoga, and also on YouTube, Mona Keti Yoga. So you can access them at any time, and feel free to do so. So again, I want to thank you all for your presence in these practices, especially given the challenges with the technology. I know it's frustrating on all ends at moments, and I'm very grateful for your presence and the connection with you all at this time. And really, it's been a very fulfilling